What's going on, everybody? How are you? And welcome to Alone Together Pittsburgh. I am your host, Patrick Jordan, coming to you, wrapping up our 23rd week in production here. We've been streaming to you for, I believe is this 77 episodes or 76 episodes?
77.
This is the 77, double sevens. We are here coming at you. We started this show the day that the shelter-in-place order came down from the state, and we've been coming at you every day, well, at least 3 to 4 days a week since that time came. And we are happy that you are still welcoming us into your homes or your mobile devices. If this is your first time watching, welcome. Thank you so much. Now, for your benefit, I'm going to check you in on a bunch of little housekeeping things that we do here on the show every week. You'll notice something tickering below me right here. That is our Venmo at @TogetherPGH. If you have the means and are moved, we would love it if you could donate a couple of bucks to the show. Everything counts. There's no dollar amount too big or too small. We're on Venmo and PayPal at @TogetherPGH. You can get to the PayPal link through our website, togetherpgh.com. So that is there, out of the way. Dave, Pete, how's everybody doing? Are you feeling good about our 77th episode?
What number are we on?
77, man. This is a marathon. This has not been a sprint.
It's 23 weeks. That's almost half a year.
That's almost half a year, and we still don't have our shit together.
We still no. We're
Pardon my language.
Family show, Patrick. Hold it together. This is
a family show.
Time doing it.
I am sorry. I don't usually swear, but the opening was there. The opening was there. But yeah. So all right, guys. Well, this is another week down. We got a great week of shows lined up for you next week, so we know we'll be here then. It's been wild, Pete. So the COVID numbers came in today in Allegheny County at 80. It was 100 yesterday and 27 the day before, which kind of, to me, feels like the whole thing's yo-yoing a little bit.
So we can just take off our masks now, right?
No, Pete.
Going to the bar.
Well, Pete, you're joking around, but a lot of people aren't joking with you. A lot of people are taking you seriously, so you got to be careful on this platform. Yeah, so we've been we're firm believers here, and I know it's a political season, but please wear your masks. All joking aside, there's no politics involved with it. It's just wearing a mask. It's just if you're in public, wear your mask. Sorry, hey there, how you doing? Sorry, my daughter just kind of came through, so that was a pepper sighting right there. So all right, yeah, we're not causing problems. Jean-Claude Van Damme would do it. All right, that's cool. So Pete, I'm excited that you're. Trust no one. Okay.
COVID-19. Did you see?
Well, that leads me to believe. I have seen that shirt, but the viewing audience at home hasn't. Which leads me to reminds me of this Western movie that is my new mantra going forward. Hey, Dave, I know we're out of order here right now, but do you have any idea?
He's cursing you on this here.
Is he cursing me? Is it no good? We can talk about it later.
Forgive me if I don't shake hands.
Doc Holliday and Tombstone. That's my mantra moving forward. Moving forward. That's what it is. But right now, I'm very excited. Another piece of housekeeping that we have here. We have a little something called the Engine House 25 Winery Jagoff Poll. That's right, folks. We instituted the Jagoff Poll back in March when March Madness was canceled. We thought you needed a Pittsburgh-centric Jagoff Poll. So we have our big Jagoff poll that you can see on our website. But right now, what we have is our in-show polls. Winners have been doing battle and somewhat of a battle royal going at each other, trying to make it to the big Jagoff Poll. So Dave, tell us about the overnight poll from last night. It was a doozy.
Sorry I'm late. I had to turn off my video camera because everybody takes me more seriously when I'm the all-seeing eye of the Jagoff. Ladies and gentlemen, overnight your Jagoff was the Diesel Commercial Institute that nobody remembered, but Patrick Jordan did a great job recreating it, versus the EATnPARK Christmas tree. That's right, the Diesel Institute commercial from 1984 versus EATnPARK XMAS tree. And how did it result? Well, gosh darn, it might have just been a blowout. Why don't you take a look at it? Here it is, 476 votes in one day, and the results?
What?
Pittsburgh Diesel Institute crushes the EATnPARK XMAS tree. You know, there's nothing being eaten at EATnPARK but that lousy, stinky, flavorless star covered with fondant that no one ever liked in the first place. The Pittsburgh Diesel Institute triumphs. 95%. You ready for this? Ready for this? It doesn't even make any
I
sense.
don't want to see it.
454 votes to 22. Sometimes good things die.
Clearly, Patrick Jordan pulls a lot of weight in this town, and that's why we're getting so many votes for all of these polls.
What happened? Okay, first of all, the Pittsburgh Diesel Institute commercial is iconic, but that EATnPARK Christmas tree commercial is my favorite commercial from childhood.
Right.
I remember before I even knew what it was, I was like into it. It was this is Donna says she voted 500 times for Park. I don't know what's going on here, but that's insanity. The Pittsburgh Diesel Institute commercial. Now Tom,
Clearly, Donna, there's voter suppression happening here.
I'm sorry, I'm rarely speechless, but I don't know what was going on, because like on Facebook there was a tidal wave of love and anger that how dare you even put this up against something, but there were a couple of people that were like, hey, Pittsburgh Diesel Institute, they're in a book, give them a call. Like, so
Hey, easy on that acting, Patrick. You're just
okay. All right. Okay.
Votes.
I'll tell you what. All right. So that's that right there. All right. So I'm shocked, but I'm
But EATnPARK is like a Pittsburgh institution. It's like, this is again last night. The Fort Duquesne inbound beat the Fort Pitt inbound. Fort Pitt inbound has
by 10
beautiful reveal, but yet there were like what 4,000 votes.
But people were voting for like the craziness of it, not the beautiful reveal. It was like there's a beautiful reveal. Now you got to get over 3 lanes of traffic, and you've got 5 seconds. You know what I mean? So maybe that's why. I don't know. It was crazy. The inbound's pretty crazy. I don't know. I don't know about that, but like this is. I'm surprised. I'm rarely speechless. Okay, I am speechless. But because fortunately I have a script.
I think something's up.
Just stop it, Pete. I want to talk to you about Engine House 25 Winery, the sponsor for the Jagoff Poll, which I haven't had a chance to yet. If you go to EH25.com, you can find out the wide selection of red wines that they have there. They've got different blends. They're located right at 3339 Penn Avenue, right where the Strip District meets Lawrenceville and Doughboy Square. Go to EH25.com, and if you tell them that you found out about them from Alone Together Pittsburgh, you'll receive $5 off per bottle, not per case, not a percentage. We're talking $5 off per bottle. You get a case, you could save yourself $50. They're also doing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Can you hear that?
Sounds like an ice cream truck, Pete.
There's an ice cream truck rolling down my street.
Okay,
right
let's mute Pete, and we'll continue with talking about our sponsor, Engine House 25 Winery. It's also home to the Roberto Clemente Museum. The Red Cross label with Roberto Clemente is a popular sale. You can go there right now. EH25, you'll receive $5 off per bottle, and they are offering free delivery in the Pittsburgh area while the pandemic is still going on. So you can get free delivery, and they also do curbside. So if you're in the neighborhood, you want to pick it up, you pay for it online, you pull up, they come out, you text them, it's there in your trunk, gloves and masks, contactless, right in your trunk and on your way. Thank you to Engine House 25 Wines. They also have wine slushies to go. If you can order them now, I don't know what the flavor is for this weekend, but you can get wine slushies to go at Engine House 25 Winery. But Engine House 25 Winery is not just sponsoring the big Jagoff poll. They also have a little thing we call the in-show Little Jagoff poll, which you, the viewer, right now can only vote on it. They can't vote on this tomorrow. This is not the overnight poll. This is in-show right now. Our podcast listeners tomorrow aren't going to do it. Dave, tell them what the overnight poll, the in-show poll is for tonight. Oh my God. What the hell?
Ladies and gentlemen of the Pittsburgh jury and court, and Peter, the jury against the audience of people that decide things. What rules in Pittsburgh? This is, of course, the official place. We have the River Royale tonight. The River Royale, the River Royale, the River Royale. We have Ohio versus Allegheny versus the Mon. It's a 3-way shoot 'em up, nose to nose, head to head, knock 'em down, rock 'em, sock 'em, robots. Ohio versus Allegheny versus Mon. Pick your favorite river, Pittsburgh. Can you do it? You have to. You have to. Which one's your favorite kid? You gotta drop 2 off of the cliff. 2 have to die. 1 can survive. This is the Jagoff. Good luck. We love you.
Okay. Dave, wonderful intro as always. I mean, you're getting better and better. What I can't believe is 75. I don't want to hear you or your ice cream truck. I can't.
Oh, I'm not interrupt. Good. I just want to say quickly that I'd sent an updated GIF when I realized I forgot the E on Royale. So I just want to say that.
I wasn't going to call you out, buddy. there's enough spelling problems that we're going to find out about later on tonight that I've done that I have no leg to stand on for doing that. But anyway, like I was saying before we got to our guests tonight, and we have a great show for you tonight. We've got Anita Fix is going to be here. We've got Keith and Justin from Table Magazine. We've got Natalie Bencivenga with 5 Minutes With, and we've got Local Brews with Dave Bracey. This is an action-packed show for you tonight. But one thing that I wanted to add for the river thing, how do we get through? We've done about, I think probably this is our 75th episode, which means we've done about 140 polls with the overnight and the in-show polls. How did we not do the rivers up until now? I have no idea. So let's go. So we even have a comment about the rivers that just came in here from Carl Kurlander. So hard. He loves all the rivers. But what about the secret underground fourth river? Well, Carl, there's always tomorrow. There's always Wednesday's poll. We might surprise you with that. But there is a fourth river, a secret river running underground through the city. Carl Kurlander, a wonderful historian. Maybe he can come on and talk about it next week. So here's the deal. I don't want to spend any time. You don't want to hear me talking. I want to bring out our guests. So we're very excited. We've got a great musical guest here tonight. We're just going to break it out. And ladies and gentlemen, here is Anita Fix.
How we gonna get them free so they can help us all get free? How we gonna get them free so they can help us get free? There's a beautiful man, he grew up on Pittsburgh's north side. When he was 14, he was in the vicinity of a homicide. He was a lovable young man, that's what they tell me. Oh, he's a hell of a good man now, that's what I see. Oh, this innocent boy was accused of a murder and charged with a crime. Sent away to state prison and sentenced to die inside. So year after year he fought for his freedom as the time went by, till they had to leave him out, cause he had been convicted as a juvenile. But he never got bitter, cause he isn't a quitter, and he fights with a smile. In the state of Pennsylvania, happy to see people like him inside. Oh, 38 years were stolen from his precious life. But this man is a mountain, and he's out here shining bright. Death by incarceration, shame on the nation. It's not enough to know, it's not enough to cry. By incarceration, stain on the reputation of the nation and its population. Don't pretend you're blind. It's time to get it right. Trip to SCI Cambridge Springs, I knew nothing about prison except what I had seen on TV. But there I sat in a room and it looked something like a Greyhound station. Automats in the corner, like a break room from the Jetsons. I waited in anticipation in my plastic seat. Who was I about to meet? Would I do or say the right things? Someone said I looked worried as I sat there nervously. And then a woman walked walked to the desk and someone said, "That's Marcia." I stood and she smiled as she turned around to approach me. Then she walked right up and she gave me a hug full of Christ-like love. Now all my nervousness is gone. This woman's love shines like the sun, and she's shining on and on. Sentenced to death by incarceration, a victim of a human rights violation, shining like the sun, shining on and on. My God, she's not the only one. Death by incarceration, shame on the nation. It's not enough to know, it's not enough to cry. Death by incarceration, stain on the reputation of the nation and its population. Don't pretend you're blind. It's time to get it right. So how we gonna get them free, so they can help us all get free? How we gonna get them free, so they can help us get free?
Need a fix, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I mean, have you done like Skype and Zoom and whatever concerts lately? That like, is it weird to finish the song and only like have no one or just me clapping? Oh, but say that one more time.
I say it's more like I'm used to that at regular shows.
Oh, come on, man. All right, that's come on now. I need a fix, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so that was awesome. So tell me, what do you have going on right now? I mean, music has got to be stifled right now. I mean, but life is still going on. I mean, what are you up to?
Well, I still am managing. You know, I only cheat COVID-wise with my bands, and I've been, longtime group, the New Poor, with the Snyder sisters, Aaron and Jenny, and Aaron's husband, Slim, who's also one of the Snyder sisters. Mm-hmm. Incredibly talented group, and so happy. We just jammed last night.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I've also been playing with Sam Pace and Caleb Gamble, a trio where we're doing these abolitionist songs, prison abolition. Like we have about 7 songs, and but yeah, we've been meeting a lot too and planning to record very soon.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good news to hear. Outside of music, I mean, we've got AnitaFix.com on there right now, but outside of music, you're involved in a couple other things too.
Very much so. I mean, most of my life right now is, as mentioned in the song, a few years ago I went up to the women's prison closest to us, state prison. Was a part of a group called Let's Get Free, which was started by Etta Cetera, Devin Cohen, Susie South, and some other great women. And so this has always been an issue that I was concerned with, really, but it wasn't the same when I met this, you can only meet one person at a time, but about 13 of us went up, so I met a whole community besides Marcia of women serving life without parole, most of them in for about 30 years by now, some of them innocent, some of them defending themselves from domestic abuse, a fair amount, and some of them just like random accomplices, in the tough on crime era where they decided that 5 people committed one murder, and especially seeing women took the brunt of this accomplice kind of thing. Right. But what I really found was like some of the most beautiful people I've ever met. Mm-hmm. It was just life-changing and devastating, really, to see like having this Oprah moment, in a state prison, like right. you can't believe it. Like, just, I mean, I'm really not religious. A lot of them are really drawn to the church, you know, and they have that faith, like what's real about it, you know, the real compassion, the real like transformation. Like, I take responsibility for whatever part I had in this, and I'm ready. They teach drug and alcohol counseling. They help the people with shorter sentences with like maternity care, you know. So
Right.
they're just beautiful people. It was life changing, and I realize there's a huge issue in PA with people serving life without parole, either who should not be there at all because they have claims to innocence, or terribly overcharged, way overcharged. It's weird, you know. You can't really walk away from that, and I encourage anybody who has not visited a prison to go check it out. You know, we have through Let's Get Free, we have a program called Operation Break Bread, where we connect people with people on the inside.
You know, Anita Fix, thank you for that. I mean, maybe you can come back with Let's Get Free and with the whole group, and we can kind of devote basically a whole segment to it on the show. We'd love to have everybody on to talk more about it.
Oh yeah.
If that's available, that'd be great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I'll tell you what. Well, you're going to stick around, right? And we're going to have another song from Anita Fix at the end of the show, and we'll talk a little bit more on the other side. Thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for your music. And we'll see you in about 25 minutes.
All right.
All right. Take it easy. Thank you. I was lying. It's going to be a half hour or more, but that's amazing. Yeah, fantastic. It's great to have music back on the show. We haven't had a musical guest in probably like 3 or 4 episodes, so that's amazing. So I want to keep things rolling tonight, but before I do, a quick check-in with Dave, the Commandant, the Lieutenant, the Governor. How's the in-show poll voting going?
You know what? It's hot, baby. It's hot. I'm not even killing time. I'm bringing it in right now. I'm bringing it in steep. The rivers are flowing into each other and intermingling, and then they're battling it out. And take a look at this, Patrick. Just look at those.
Just
look
tell
at the
me.
pudding.
Oh,
the
wow.
Allegheny, 45%, 5 votes. The Mon, 4 votes, 36%, trailing the Ohio with
Wow.
18.
All right. Okay.
So far, I'm satisfied. I like to sail the seas of the Allegheny myself.
All right. Keep on voting, everybody. And so while you're doing that, think about a couple of other things. Let's bring out our next guests. They are from the region's premier lifestyle magazine. Please welcome Keith Recker and Justin Matase from Table Magazine. Oh, it's not just Keith and Justin. Who else do we have with us tonight?
This is Giorgino.
Giorgino, how are you? How old is Giorgino?
6 months.
We could have used Giorgino at the top of the show during our animal break.
I know, animal break. I mean, I have a couple B videos for you.
Well, send them over. We will. We're running short on like live animals that we're finding in the world while we're trying to get the show started.
You know, Patrick, because I don't really want Justin to steal the whole scene, I got some 5 baton twirlers that are going to come in about 5 minutes. So it's just,
Fantastic. Hey, no holds barred here.
That's right. Exactly.
All right. So anyway, guys, Table Magazine. All right. Love it. I happen to have a copy.
Nice.
Just handy here with me, like everyone should. But how are things going at Table right now?
Things are good. Things are good. We feel like, honestly, this COVID thing, having people at home so much more, gives us sort of like we're needed, right? We're needed.
Absolutely.
That lemonade cover, you got to make lemons. You got to make lemonade out of your lemons.
Genius.
So right. So we're really trying hard to give good ideas and good things to do that are, interesting and doable and fun and delicious.
Now, I noticed a couple of things that you guys did. There are a couple of recipes that you were putting out there from for kids too, which I'm into right now.
Yeah. Sure.
But how often do you guys do that? I mean,
we have something in every issue. We're going to get back to it now that school is starting again. Because one of the best things, I think one of the most constructive things about this time is that a lot of us have had more time to spend with our kids, and getting them in the kitchen to do a few fun things is pretty cool. So we're working on it.
I love it. Justin, you're getting more puppy love here. Fat Man D is just chiming in. This is the thing here. It's like animals
We're
and
going to
kids.
be adding. We're going to be adding a pet section. Keith and I haven't spoken about it yet, but we're planning on debuting it soon.
Oh, it's a staff meeting. I had no idea. It's so great.
Folks, only on Alone Together Pittsburgh, we are breaking news.
Exactly.
Right here. Table Magazine is about to do a pet segment. All right.
Hey,
but outside of just kids, I mean, what else do you have cooking right now? No pun intended.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Justin.
Oh, I was just going to say from the recipes approach, we've really tried to make, food that's comforting, things that people can make at home that, are easy to be enjoyed by a family, and pulled out some of the, fussiness from it because it just didn't seem appropriate during, this time at home.
It's true. One of the cool things, Patrick, about that summer issue that you held up is that it was pretty much made by people working all alone by themselves, doing things one little tiny bit at a time. And I think it's kind of amazing how much energy there is in that issue. And as Justin said, like how much there is to really do because it's doable and fun and easy. So we're really proud of it. Well, I also am kind of proud of the fact that we gave some people some license to do some things that you wouldn't always do, like eat pie all day, right? Our friend Quelsey put together a pie all day article where it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert as well, all pie all day. I want to do it. That's a theme. I like nothing more than a theme. I want a whole weekend where it's all pie.
Can I be involved in that? Can I be a guinea pig?
Hell yes, absolutely.
Because I once several years ago I did a burger tour. I think it was for Pop City. It was probably like 6 or 7 years ago. We ate 10 burgers in one day.
Whoa.
Where we went through, and it wasn't like I gave every burger like a mustache rating, and it wasn't like 3 mustaches. It was like a specific person's mustache. And went through it. But the person that I went with, Brad Stevenson, and I did it. And he, after about the 6th burger, started to get really sad, weepy, and actually started crying at one point. He couldn't handle it. So I think pie would be a much better thing because it's not just fruit pies, right? I mean, you could there's lots of pies.
Absolutely.
But you've never heard of anyone getting the pie sweats.
No, you don't get the pie sweats.
No.
I get the sweats thinking about pie. Pie is my favorite food, I think. So you hit a buzzword with me. It's like a trigger warning.
Patrick, if that's not an overnight poll, I don't know what is.
Well, we're gonna have to do that, but it's got to be a Pittsburgh centric thing, right? That's the one thing, right? So it's got to be who has the pie in Pittsburgh, right? There was the coconut cream pie at Grant's Bar was somewhat legendary.
Somewhat vertical too.
Yes. So I'm trying to think who else would have the pies. So there's different pies. Now you've got me thinking. I'm going to put a poll out asking people for their favorite pies.
Good.
This whole conversation is going to be about pies now. I hope you guys don't have anything else to talk about.
No problem. Always ready for that. Always.
But I mean, but Table Magazine, it's not strictly food. I mean, you guys have it's a whole lifestyle.
Yeah,
correct.
absolutely.
Like I mean, you guys are covering everything.
Cocktails, wine, beer, design, clothing, things to do in the region. We try to touch on everything. This place we all share is really and truly an amazing place. So it's great amazing. To sort of I've learned something every day. So it's kind of great to be out there pushing stuff that people haven't done yet. It's kind of great.
That's fantastic. Now, speaking of that, you're working on other things too, Keith. You've also have a book that's coming out soon.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, the 2nd edition of my book, which is called True Colors, is coming out in 10 days.
Oh wow! So that's coming up soon.
It is, and it'll be a really interesting experience to see how I can, tell these stories in the time of COVID. Normally, you go out and do lectures, right? And you see people, you meet people, but now that's not what we're doing. So it's fascinating. But the book is about 26 masters of natural dyes and pigments from 13 countries. And at first glance, that sounds like something, that isn't really relevant to everybody. But if you take a step back for a sec and realize that the way that we live, we are surrounded by textiles for all but maybe 10 minutes when we're taking a shower every day. And the textiles that we wear are one of the top polluting influences in our planet today.
Wow.
80% of the clothing we buy ends up in a landfill within a year. And we really need to pull back and think about why we're buying the stuff that we clearly don't like very much, right? And that is doing some serious damage to the planet. So it's time to really pull back and rethink. Go for some meaning, go for natural substances, go for clothing that's made by people you could care about, that tells a story that you could care about, so that maybe you'll take care of your clothes and live with them for longer. So this is a first step. Do you remember, like 20 years ago, nobody talked about farm to table. Nobody talked about local farmers, right? Nobody talked about local food. We had a total transformation in how we talk about food and what we think is most valuable about it. Well, for textiles and clothing too. We need to change it.
Well, until you were talking about it, it hadn't even really occurred to me. So I'm going to go with it. You're right. I think it's time to change around. Just the few statistics that you just threw out there kind of blew my mind. So this book, so you went around, this was pre-COVID, you did most of your interviews and research with correct?
Totally, yes.
So fortunately, so that gave you some time to kind of regroup and work on this. I mean, couple of places you went. I mean, where did you go? Just off the top, I know there's 13, but so what were a couple that kind of just right in the top of the list?
I took a trip to Benin in West Africa, and that was to study the way that West Africans make indigo, right? The blue dye. Mm-hmm. And it was a completely amazing trip. I had never really hung out in Africa before. I'd worked there. But this trip was a real chance to meet people, sit down with people, talk to people. And I really learned it's such an ancient tradition. Indigo's been in West Africa at least since 1100. And there's a whole mythology and a whole set of beliefs around indigo. It's considered a dangerous, volatile substance. So to get indigo out of a green leaf, you have to go through this harvesting process. You have to age, and then you have to put them in a vat and let them ferment. And in order to have them ferment, you have to have healthy bacteria, so you have to feed them. And so there's this whole track of getting the color out of the leaf, and it can go very wrong. So there's a lot of mythology about indigo being a volatile substance that can kind of rise up and do you harm. But when it works, it's a symbol of love and a symbol of healing. So the textiles that they make in West Africa out of indigo are phenomenal. Really, really beautiful.
This is awesome. This is stuff that you don't think about. I can't wait to get your book.
All right.
Yeah, this is great. So how can people go about getting it? I mean, can you pre-order this book right now? It's coming out in 10 days.
You can pre-order the book. My publisher has a website, thrumsbooks.com, or you can go to my website, chromosapien.com, and you can find your way through to order it there.
All right, we'll put the links up in the thing here. There you go.
There you
go. People at home can have those there. That's awesome. I mean, talk about a Renaissance man. I mean, it's not just table with this guy. And speaking of the Renaissance thing, Justin, when COVID hit, the restaurant industry got hit really hard. I mean, everybody got hit hard, but I just can't imagine. I mean, the entertainment industry and the restaurant industry are the two that really kind of got shook to their foundation, and you don't realize how many people work there. You put together something for restaurant industry workers early on into COVID. If you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. We had the opportunity to do something for the community that has done so much for table. We're a food and beverage lifestyle magazine. Lifestyle is the overarching theme, but we have a food and beverage focus. And there's so many chefs and people that work at restaurants that have done so much for the magazine and for the food and beverage community. And when this happened, I mean, we were all sort of heartbroken. We're seeing these restaurants closing, they're laying people off, and what are they supposed to do? These folks get paid out nightly in many cases, or weekly. And so I called up some of the most, influential people in the business I know, Eileen French, Kate Romaine, and Hillary Brown. And I said, listen, we have this idea at table. We're trying to put some people together. And so Table doesn't get all of the credit because those folks helped tremendously to spread the word. But we were able to give away $30,000 to restaurant workers in emergency grant funds. So we just basically PayPal'd, Venmo'd, and wrote checks for $150 to applicants who had been let go by, between March, after the month of March, basically.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, we have a category on the show that we haven't been doing a lot lately because things have been changing. But early on, when you were doing that, we call it like the helpers category, because the first day we started the show was Fred Rogers' birthday. And we got all kind of emotional. We were looking for the helpers kind of a thing. So we'll put that up there. You would definitely fall into the Fred Rogers helpers category. We'll put together a list when we can stop doing the show, when we can get back to a normal life. But I mean, that's amazing there too. So,
Patrick, Justin's being shy. He's got plans for another initiative.
Another initiative, Justin? Why are you being shy?
I'm not being shy. I just just wrapping up on that. But heading into the fall, things aren't going to be easy. There's tougher times ahead. As the weather changes, as flu season approaches. Let's face it, COVID's not going away. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to get any easier for these businesses, and we're not hearing about relief in sight for an industry that employs so many people. And so many people in sort of a critical space. We do have something in the works. Unfortunately, we're not quite ready to announce it just yet, so sort of stay tuned. Okay. But this one's to the next fund that we'll be working on will be to help restaurateurs, to make sure that we help to preserve the existence of these restaurants. So more details to come, but we're very excited to continue helping. This is an industry that's given table so much that when faced with this current situation, it's only appropriate for us to do our part and get back.
Right. Well, that's amazing that you're doing that now. You're still in the working it out process right now. But where would people be able to find out when you work out all the details? If somebody wanted to check in with you, would that be Table's website?
Yeah, tablemagazine.com. We will have it updated there. It'll be anchored in our navigation bar, just like the service industry fund was. So you'll be able to find information about it there, and we'll be shamelessly sharing it everywhere else that we possibly can. So just stay tuned.
If you sign up for our website, then you're sure to find out about it as soon as we have it ready to go.
There you go. So sign up for the mailing list, get the newsletter, get the going. Yeah. Tara May's chimed in a couple of times. She said, bittersweet, the pandemic will bring out quality over quantity in many affected businesses for many reasons. I know with less money available. Yeah, this goes back to what you were talking about before, Keith, I think, when you were talking about the farm to table. Very choosy, and kudos for your realizations. And she thanks you for what you're doing. Tara Mays works in the industry as well.
Great.
So that's great. So I know you guys have some other stuff coming up, but you also have someone that's going to be writing for Table Magazine that is also a contributor to Alone Together Pittsburgh. And normally we just start with her segment, but we're going to bring her out earlier to join the conversation. Can we bring out Natalie Bencivenga?
Hey, guys.
Natalie.
Hi. I feel like I talk to you all the time, Keith, but I don't get to actually see your handsome face, so this is a treat.
Oh, that is a crime for you two not to talk to each other on FaceTime or on Zoom. I mean,
Natalie has done the most amazing job of helping us cover what's going on in our communities at this really, difficult time. So Natalie's been writing about food security, about access to farmland, about health. Upcoming, she's got stuff coming about transportation and childcare. She's just doing such an amazing job. I can't even stand it. It's so good.
So you mean she's doing something more than 5 minutes with Alone Together Pittsburgh?
Not much more. Just a little more.
Don't worry, Patrick. I'm all for you.
Oh yeah. I didn't realize this. I thought this was just what you did all week.
This is like a Maury Povich thing. Suddenly, I feel like I've been cheating on everybody.
That's right, Natalie. You are the father.
That's right.
but anyway, so what's going on, Natalie? How do you like working with Table?
Oh my gosh, I love it. And not just because they're both looking at me right now. I really do mean it. No, it's been super fun to get the opportunity to work with such an amazing magazine. I mean, I've loved Table for so long, and it's so beautifully laid out, and there's so many interesting recipes. I actually made the roasted radish recipe not that long ago. It was so good. It was sort of like a potato salad, but you used radishes instead. It was a big hit in the house, I got to tell you. So yeah, it's good times, like not only getting to write with them, but then also getting to enjoy everything that they have to offer. And I mean, Justin and I, we go way back anyway. So
way back.
It's fun. It's been a lot of fun. I love it.
well, that's amazing. I mean, I can only imagine what she's been such. Natalie's been such. It's the Natalie Admiration Society right now. But she's done such fantastic work for us here. So I'm glad I'm glad you're sharing, Natalie. I'm glad you're spreading it around. But that's fantastic. So you can. So when's your next piece coming out in Table? When's the next Friday?
I have a piece coming out, and we're going to be focusing on the transportation issue and how it intersects with all the different forms of social justice, and including, it was a really great conversation I had with Heritage Initiatives about just how you really can't tackle one area of need without addressing several others. So we really talk about those intersections and relate it back to the world of social justice and what Pittsburghers can do to support. That's been a big component, is the activation step, how you can get involved with your community efforts and make a difference right in your own backyard. So you can see that tangible change that you can address. And it's been awesome. And I've learned so much. And I love the nonprofit sector, and it's where my heart will always be, because people that are giving back and doing the real work. I had the pleasure of interviewing a bunch of people for the Pittsburgh Foundation on Table's Instagram on Wednesday for the #1Day campaign. And these are my heroes. These are the people that I stand in awe of, because they're just doing the real work of serving our communities. So it's really important and really special. And I feel really honored to be a part of it.
Well, Alone Together Pittsburgh has to endorse Table now. But guys, we got to get to Natalie's segment on our show. Keith, Justin, thank you so much for everything that you're doing. Justin, keep us posted when you guys are ready to do that. We'd love it if you came back on the show and told us about the new initiative that you're doing. Keith, good luck with the book coming out in 10 days. Everyone get on that book right now, True Colors. You can find out all the information in our timeline here and get the links that are on the page there right now. Justin and Keith, thank you so much. And Table Magazine.
Thanks for having us.
Sure thing. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Take care.
All right. Natalie, where'd Natalie go?
I'm here.
Natalie, I'm thinking you're here. So do you want to should we just run the 5 minutes with, or do you want to do an intro for it?
Well, I just wanted to make a quick note, because I realized when you were talking about how many weeks you've done this, I took account of how many 5 minutes with. We've done 20 of them in 19 weeks.
Isn't
that wild?
How is it that many?
I don't know. I'm counting them. I'm like, it can't be this many, but it is. So this is a journey we are on.
That's 100 minutes.
It is 100, and some of them we know were over 5 minutes.
So some of them it might be 100 and 200. It
could be a lot more. Yeah, it's kind of wild. Yeah,
that is wow. I didn't even think about that. Wow.
I feel so lucky to work with you guys. So it's been such a fun.
We're lucky to have you. So do you want to introduce your 5 minutes with this time, or do you want to?
Sure.
Go for it.
Yeah, no, this week I'm really excited to introduce Leff, the Director of Innovation from Liftoff Pittsburgh. Now, she's part of the Jewish Health Foundation here in the city, and they're working on a new initiative called Generation Fempreneur. So it's about women plus in spaces, disrupting spaces of tech, healthcare, and innovation. And I get to moderate a panel for it next week. I'm doing a happy hour kickout, and Eileen's going to be one of my guests on Monday night for that.
Everyone's talking about Eileen on the show tonight.
She's just in the ether, so it should be really, really fun. And she's in the ether,
and she's in my eye line.
Yeah.
All right. So let's roll it.
Let's do it.
The 20th 5 minutes with.
Hey everyone, I'm Natalie Bencivenga, host of 5 Minutes With. And this week I am so excited because not only do I have an incredible woman for you all to meet, but she's actually a really dear friend of mine too. So I'm it's extra touching this week. So I'd like everyone to meet Mara Leff. She is the innovation director at the Jewish Healthcare Foundation, and she's also in charge of this amazing new program that they're really cultivating to inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs in the world of health and tech, and it's called Lift Off Pittsburgh. So, hey Mara, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you so much for, doing this with me over Zoom. As we all know, I'd like to someday have an audience and a space, but until then, here we are.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm so excited. I know you've heard me talk about Liftoff for quite some time now, over cocktails, but I'm so excited to share with your audience what we've been working on, and some exciting pivots that we've made in light of recent global developments, obviously. So yeah, Liftoff it's fun. It's we've been at it for about 2 years, planning a large initiative, a first of its kind conference here in Pittsburgh that is really at its core celebrating the incredible ecosystem that we have here at the intersection of medical care, medical education, technology, and just a spirit of entrepreneurship. And how do we cultivate all of those assets that we have here to really put Pittsburgh on the map? I'm a Pittsburgher, born and raised. I'm what they call a boomerang, I guess. I went away and couldn't help myself. And, I have a public health background, so and wellness and healthcare improvement is at like the core of my being. And so this is an exciting project for me personally and for the Jewish Healthcare Foundation to be working on. And really it has a fun spirit to it. And I think we are thrilled to see so much innovation happening in our community in light of the pandemic.
Right.
Innovation coming from unlikely places, which I love. Companies pivoting on a dime to take their technologies and see how they could be applicable to help, people that are in the most need right now. And so Pittsburgh's a really cool place to be at the moment.
No, it definitely is. And when will Liftoff be happening?
Absolutely. So it is December. We're taking over the month of December virtually over the airwaves. Yeah. So December 1st through the 16th. Mm-hmm. Basically, the first half of the month, the first 2 weeks, there's going to be lots of amazing on-demand content that you can participate in, different events, whether they be kind of a small virtual networking or meetup session, or if you wanted to join a lecture, say on how to start a business and how to hone your message and your product. We hope a little bit of everything. And then on the 15th and 16th, we're really excited. We're going to have a big live broadcast with some incredible national keynote speakers that are at the top of the field in terms of healthcare innovation and life sciences. So it's going to be a happening.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited for it. And to kind of kick it off, you guys have decided to do something really interesting that I'm getting to be a part of, which I feel so honored. It's Generation Fempreneur. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So we love this name, Generation Fempreneur. So it's our celebration of women innovators and women inventors. And we're really we're trying to shine a light on the fact that women and lots of different groups in our community are not often represented in the technology space, right. And it's a huge problem. And I think having conversations that are hard to have is what we all need to be doing right now. And so that's what we're hoping to do here, is really look at sort of what are some of the reasons why you don't see women in this space. Mm-hmm. What holds us back? What are barriers? How can we support women? How can we support each other?
Yeah.
And what are the resources that maybe haven't historically been available to women that we can help to make more readily available? And so we're excited. We're taking a few days. We're partnering with the Pittsburgh Technology Council. Mm-hmm. And we are going to have, and you, which is so exciting. And we've invited some amazing local powerhouses to join us to talk about their journey, what they're working on now, how they got there, what are the challenges that they face, and just throw it open to the community. How can we support all people, but especially women, as well as other groups. We're trying to be as inclusive as possible, really.
I really liked that, because in the way you've been describing it, it's been women plus, right? So this idea of being very inclusive and mindful of not excluding different groups that have oftentimes, like you were saying, not only been marginalized, but downright ignored. So I think that was really important. And how does that appeal to the larger issues, the bigger picture here, as you look at this project in this sort of microcosm? How does it project outward? What is it leaning towards?
Yeah, I mean, I think Pittsburgh is a very interesting place. It's an interesting place that is sort of, it has a lot of problems. I mean, no doubt, right? I mean, there have been several reports that have come out that have really just exposed what a lot of us knew already, which was just unbelievable health disparities between the Black community and the white community. We have issues. Older adults in this community are really shunned and face a lot of issues. LGBTQ community facing issues, and so I think for us, what we hope is we can provide a platform for folks to have conversations that need to be had. At the Jewish Healthcare Foundation, we have the privilege of being able to convene people, to bring people together, to call upon leadership in the community, and to place these issues in front of them and to shine a light on them, and to give voices to people that need to be heard. That's what we're hoping to do, so that maybe, just maybe, people in power hear them, and that we maybe spur change. I think that's what our goal is, right? Is to lift up the voices with, from our place of privilege, from our place of power, really, because, and I hope that I've seen this. I think a lot of people in our community are doing this, which is great, which is what we want to see. Our foundations community, our nonprofit community, people that have access to powerful people. We have to raise these voices up, because that's the only way we're going to see change.
And when can people expect this series of Generation Femme for Nerd to be happening?
It's next week.
I know.
It is going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week at noon. So business as usual, which is hosted by Audrey Russo with the Pittsburgh Technology Council. They will be hosting it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in partnership. And then the lovely Natalie Bencivenga will be hosting it on Friday. You can go to liftoffpgh.org under our speaker series, and you can register there for, I hope, all of the sessions. But you can also pick and choose which ones sound appealing. But really hoping that all week we just have some really strong voices that just carry the message through of it's time to focus on topics that have been ignored for a really long time, people that have been ignored for a really long time, and hope that the right people hear the message and that we can see real change.
Well, I love that, and I love you, and I know with you leading this effort, it's going to be a huge success, not just now, but in December as well. And I hope you'll come back and chat with me more about what's going to happen in December too.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for spending 5 minutes with me, Mara. I really appreciate you, and I look forward to next week. It's going to be a great adventure.
Me too.
Bye.
The 20th one, they just keep getting better, Natalie. You're got
so
great
good for my self-esteem, Patrick.
Hey, somebody needs it. I mean, you're pretty much quarantining in your house. I know what it's like. You need a little bit. You need
pep in your step.
A little pep in your step, a little grin in your shin, a little charm in your arm.
I like it.
There you go. But anyway, great interview again. That sounds amazing with that coming up.
Well, it was really interesting. I'm pulling up some of the stats on my phone because I've been sharing a lot of their information, and they say some really interesting things that, like, there's over 75% of all hospital and medical office employees are women, but then only 4% of healthcare company CEOs are women. And so this whole series is really going to just be trying to ask these questions, like, why is there such a discrepancy in representation? And like we talked about, it's not just, women, but we wanted to call it women plus. So it includes, trans and non-binary people too, that are even much more vastly underrepresented. And of course, when you factor in, race and other marginalizing factors, it just grows exponentially from there for the lack of representation. So I think it was really important that the Jewish Healthcare Foundation was acknowledging this and wanting to make strides to improve that, because that's really important with the work that I do. What I want to see is that sense of inclusion, and that just we're acknowledging what's going on. So it was great to see that.
Now, something like this right here, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of things popping up, a lot of discussions are happening, a lot of conferences, a lot of things that are happening that may not have happened if it weren't for the situation that we're in right now.
Yes.
Like, just like the planets lining up, people having a second to stop
Yes.
and kind of look around and see what was happening. And so it's like, I guess it's some kind of a silver lining, or to go back to Table Magazine, some lemonade.
It's true.
That's been made from this. Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you. I think, like, if you look at it psychologically too, we've all had this sort of great awakening at once. And so I think people feel safe because they know other people feel this way, and there is that sense of safety in numbers. It was sort of like when the Me Too movement kind of kicked off. It was like all of a sudden women and people that had been marginalized in that way, when it came to sexual assault, suddenly they felt more comfortable because there was this mass acknowledgement. And so I think you're seeing that sort of spreading out in all sectors of identity, which I think is really important, because we can't really solve big structural issues until we just respect and validate all people, for who they are. So I think it's really exciting. And yeah, like we were talking about, for Monday night, I'm going to be doing a happy hour on my Instagram at 6:00, and Eileen French is going to be there. And
Eileen French Jordan, who happens to be my better half.
I know, and she's one of my favorite people of Pittsburgh as well. I always call her Eileen French. I know it's okay. Eileen.
You met her as Eileen French.
But that's what it is. It's however I meet people. That's how I remember them. So
that's how everybody. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I was just joking around as a way to parlay that into being my wife. It's not a big deal. But it's just funny that her name's come up like several times tonight. That's kind of great. And then at one point she was literally walking. She doesn't want to come on.
She doesn't want to come. Okay, that's fair.
I think she's trying to separate church and state. I think she's trying to draw a line in the sand. I'm hoping to have her and Pepper on at one point, just like in another room, and just to be like, we hate this show. He just spends too much time on it. He needs this. It's just awful. But it's going to be. They're very supportive.
No, it's going to be great. So I'm going to have Eileen, and then Nina Barbuto from Assemble Pittsburgh. I love her too. And
we have to have her back on the show.
Yeah,
she hasn't been on since like week 2.
Yeah, she's amazing. And then Tamara Abney, who founded Sister Friend, which talks all about like menstrual equity and providing menstrual products to women who are incarcerated or in other places that aren't as accessible, like homeless shelters and things like that. So that's going to be a really fun kickoff. And then I'm going to be doing the Friday session with some amazing women in innovation, and the rest of the week's with Audrey Russo, and it's Natalie, incredible.
Natalie, we have your Gmail with the Ask Natalie advice at gmail.com. Yeah. But quickly, you've got all this stuff going on. Do you have a website outside of just your email address?
Okay, so
give me your Instagram. Give me something public for the people.
Okay, so for my Instagram, it's at Natalie Benci, so BENCI, and I am working on a website because I need to get a YouTube channel going just to like catalog everything, because once we kind of kicked off with the pandemic, it was like I quit the PG and then I had all this creative time and I'm like, let's just do all these things. So that's kind of where we're at. Yeah, it's a good problem though. I'm excited.
All right. Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for
thank you
for joining us. Thank you. Happy 20th. And hopefully we do 20 more.
I hope so too.
All right,
I think we probably will.
All right. Oh god, the way things are going. Yeah. But we will see you. We'll see you a week from today for another 5 minutes with. And if you got any questions, don't forget that Natalie is a nationally syndicated advice columnist. You can go to AskNatalieAdvice@gmail.com. We'll talk more about that. I want to find out more. We're going to do double duty next week about your any questions.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks so
Natalie.
Much. Bye.
All right, that's fantastic. 20 episodes with Natalie. I can't even believe it. So before we bring on our next guest, I want to tell you a little bit about another one of our sponsors, Red Start Roasters, local Pittsburgh coffee roaster that is actually bird friendly. If you go to redstartroasters.com and use the coupon code TOGETHERPGH, you'll receive 10% off your order. And as an added bonus, Red Start Roasters, much like EH25.com, Engine House Wineries, they're doing free delivery in the Pittsburgh area during the pandemic. So get it while you can. Red Start Roasters, the only bird friendly coffee roaster in the Pittsburgh area. All right, so I'm excited to see what our next guest. He's always got some good news. He's talking about local brews. Pete's actually drinking one of the Fresh Fest DigiFest collaboration beers currently. Let's bring out Bracey. You're muted.
Technology, man. What's good with y'all? Y'all right?
We're all right. I can hear you now. Yes.
Sweet. Yeah, no. So I wanted to first off say fuck Donald Trump. And I just wanted, before we get into this shit, more than 30 years ago, almost 40 years ago, there was this consent decree between the Republicans and the Democrats, and it basically was the Republicans kept sending all these goons down to the polling places to bully folks and intimidate them. They called them polling security officers.
Poll watchers.
But they really were there to just kind of intimidate black people from voting. So they took it to the courts, and there was this decree saying that the GOP couldn't do this anymore. So they fought about it for a few years or whatever, but mostly they adhered to this. And that decree, a judge just lifted that. Because when Trump won, he was able to place a lot of judges, and the judge lifted this decree. So now you hear Trump going, oh, well, we're going to send these officers down there. That's not just a Trump just doing some saying some old wacky shit. That's a age old voter intimidation, voter suppression tactic that was court ordered not to happen, but now has just been lifted. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. What's going on? Everybody's just oh, Trump's at it again. But it's not just Trump. It's a whole party that is out to suppress and to intimidate voters. So I just want people to be aware of what's happening and what's coming up in the next election months. There's going to be a lot of folks trying to keep people that kind of look like me from voting. And it's just surprising how few people understand the many tactics that are out there to do that. So vehemently fuck Trump this week.
Double up. I mean, it's they might change the name of it, but it's still happening again.
It's voter suppression. So yeah, pretty upset about that. But beer helps.
Okay, you're a professional. You have the perfect segue. Beer helps. So tell me about beer. What beer are you drinking this week?
Well, funny. I kind of got sick of beer. I've been drinking a lot of beer recently with all the collabs and all of the other beers that are surrounded by breweries and collabs and whatnot. So I actually am drinking some whiskey tonight.
What whiskey?
Big fan of whiskey. So this is Liberty Pole. It is a peated rye whiskey. So
Nice.
this is cask strength. It's 110, 109, 109.6%, or 109 proof. So it's overproof. It's delicious. So it's peated. So it has that Scotch earthiness to it, but it has the whiskey kind of sweetness with the rye spice. So I mean it's a once a year thing. Liberty Pole is out of Washington, PA. So they're local. You can catch them down at PA Libations, and I was just talking to them last week. They're soon going to be in some of the more high-end liquor stores or whatever. So yeah, I'm super excited to have them a bit closer. Right now, though, you can definitely get them down at PA Libations, down in the Strip District. And PA Libations, I don't know if anybody is aware, but it's all local distilled, spirits, and you could try all of them because technically, every last one of those distillers gave Christian Simmons, the owner, they gave them a satellite location. So technically, legally, you're drinking at their location, so you're able to sample it before you buy it, which is kind of a cool thing because I mean you don't always know what you're getting into, and something this is like a $65 bottle. You don't really want to kind of spend that money on something that you're not sure of. It's not like beer where it's I'll get into it for maybe $15. This is an investment in something that's probably going to sit on your shelf for a while. So super excited. And Liberty Pole is the only person I know, the only folks that do peated versions of whiskey. So it gives that nice Scotch-ish kind of flavor to it.
All right, I'm excited. I'm excited for the shift here. All right, what do you have here?
This is bourbon cream that they make. It's kind of like Kahlua or Bailey's, but it's bourbon. It's sweet and milky, but it tastes like it has this bourbon kind of like cream flavor. So it's I don't know. It might be the best liquid going in the area right now. It's insane.
Bourbon milk.
Yeah, I mean, like a White Russian.
Okay, all right. That's where Pete comes in.
Are you Russian, Pete? Is Spinda?
He's not Russian, but he drinks the White Russians.
Yeah.
I can't drink too much of that. I'm not quite lactose intolerant, but I think I'm on the spectrum.
Yeah, I mean, if you're lactose intolerant, or you lactose even like if you're lactose meh about it, then no.
Can do one. Can't go long. But this is exciting, man. You're speaking my language this week. I mean, I like beer, but
yeah, I mean, I enjoy beer, but I also enjoy the liquors.
Go ahead.
How do you feel about Tequila Day?
So I just recently started to become like, a fan of tequila because I was only able to afford the cheap bullshit. And that was the only thing that I was exposed to. But I went out to Colorado where they actually have like a Hispanic population. Mm-hmm. And like they introduced me to like good tequila. So like the shit that you can kind of sit on some rocks and sip, because I'm not a cocktail guy. So like, margaritas was really all like, margaritas and just other terrible things that like tequila was always just a turn at night that just ended terribly. But like I went out there and like I had some really good aged tequila on the rocks and it was phenomenal. I mean, it was expensive. It's not something that I could afford to drink often.
I'm not a big fan of tequila either. Like I had a really hard time getting into it. I haven't really been into it, but I feel like Mr. Jordan here is Dave are both experienced tequila.
Okay. I've been drinking a lot of tequila during the pandemic because I think it cures things.
Listen, I'm not talking shit.
No, I made that up. I know. No. Mm-hmm. I drink a lot of tequila. I also like bourbon. I also like scotch, and I like whiskey. So those are my thing.
I'm just saying it could be a fun challenge.
I have not.
Be a fun challenge if maybe next week we get some tequila and you tell us what to get, and then we sip a little tequila because I'm adverse to tequila. I've had many similar experiences today where it's like.
So we'll call it. Okay, we'll change the name of the segment to Local Booze with Dave Bracey. All right, but the downside is I don't think anybody's making tequila in this part of the state.
So we'll stick that idea of local. It'll be regional or
okay. It's gonna have to go beyond regional.
Definitely on this continent.
It's gonna have to go. It's gonna have to go north or south or South America. If I can have that, I can get you some mezcal. I can get you some tequila. I also like mezcal too. Okay, here's a little trick.
I think that's what I had. Is that what was that mezcal? Was mezcal. That it was like a darker?
It depends. There's three different kinds. I mean, there's like the young, the medium, and the older aged, and they get darker with age. The clearer they are, like that. I'm drinking the Añejo right now, but like I just threw it with some like watermelon juice, like a little bit of watermelon, a lot of tequila. But my trick is, right, you don't have to. If you have like a nice bottle of mezcal, right, which I'll drink by itself. I'll drink it on the rocks. I'll drink it straight. I'll sip it all day. Like I like mezcal, right? I also like grappa. But I mean, that not everybody likes that.
One, yeah.
But what you can do is you can
Isn't
take
that like wine or some shit.
It's like grapes. It's like fermented grapes, but
it's what you can make it from what's left of the grapes that you already pressed for the wine.
Yeah. You know what I
mean? So it's like the wine equivalent of haggis. But it's all the shit that's left.
Well, like a lot of European countries have their own version of it. So it's like in Serbia and like Eastern Europe, it's Schlivo. It's plum brandy, but it's basically. It's grape brandy, right? Like that's
right. It's what you got left over. But
isn't brandy just distilled like wine?
Pretty much sweeter, yeah. But like just to finish this off, you can use the cheap tequila, right? you can use you can use the just clear, regular, cheap tequila, right? Put whatever your ratio is, right? You put that in, you put a little bit of juice, whatever kind of juice, whether it's watermelon, lemon, lime, you can make your own little margarita. I don't go with all that, but like just any kind of fruit juice. And then you top it off with a little bit of mezcal, and you're drinking like a $25 cocktail.
Oh,
like
shit.
you feel like you take a sip, you're like, oh, I've had this. I paid $25 for this at a restaurant. I felt like I was getting ripped off, but like
I've never
like,
paid $25 for a drink at a restaurant.
I'm just okay. Maybe I went long. Captain Ham's over here. We know where you stand. You don't have to state the obvious, but like no, I'm just saying like there are restaurants that you can have cocktails $16, $20, whatever. But I'm just saying you can have yourself a bottle of like just your regular basic tequila.
Okay, so
that's a hack. It's a tequila hack.
Right. Just a little bit on top. It takes over. It gives the whole drink like a smoky flavor. So you're not just you lose the whole thing. So it's kind of like poor man's.
I think that's what I was drinking out there. Was like a mess. It was dark. It was like it was smooth. It had flavor in it, and I was like, holy shit! Like this is what tequila can be. So no, I'm looking at it, and then
I'll give you a list.
If you're looking for like, I don't know. I mean, maybe PA Libations has some kind of tequila. No,
I look because during COVID, I was looking for when all the liquor stores were closed. Like PA Libations was still doing some business, and I was trying to get it. There was no tequila to be had. I was like fiending. I was like down to my last drop.
That's wild.
Yeah, but anyway, that's a good idea, Pete. Maybe we'll switch it up for next week.
Yeah, let's do something.
Do a little taste test.
Taste test. Yeah, it'd be fun.
It looks like Dave's got one more with me.
Oh shit!
There's the Black is Beautiful just dropped over at Union Brothers. It's a collaboration between some guys called Drinking Partners and Union Brothers. So the funds from this go to Bucket Bail Fund here in Pittsburgh. So they work with inmates to provide bail fund. Because the bail system isn't an equal opportunity system. Basically, if you're poor, you got to spend time in jail. Whereas if you're rich, you can just buy your way out and maybe even skip town to another country. So, the Bucket Bail Fund is there to, find people and say, hey, maybe you had some bullshit, got pulled over for, having a dime bag or something in your pocket. And now you're in jail, but you can't afford the $500 to get out to go back to work. The Bucket Bail Fund is there for folks like that. So, I'm super excited to pair up with Black is Beautiful. Weathered Souls down in Texas is the initiative, and then Union Brothers up in Butler doing their thing. So check them out.
All right. Well, Day, thank you so much. Before we let you go, pick a river. Allegheny, Mon, or Ohio?
Man, I mean, I'm gonna go Mon because that's where that was
Mon Valley.
Oh shit! So I'm gonna go with the Mon.
All right, we will add that one to it. And Day, next week we're gonna have to talk at some point to figure out how to get tequila to all of us. For next Friday.
I'm for it, man.
So local booze with Dave Bracey a week from tonight. Be sure to tune in for it. Dave, thank you so much. And Fresh Fest DigiFest is still live till September. You can still buy the app, you can still buy a ticket, and you can still cash in on everything else. Thank you, Dave Bracey. All right. So we've got two options here. Pete, Dave, do we talk about our overnight poll or do we bring back Anita.Fix?
Give me that fix.
All right, let's get the fix. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we talked to Anita.Fix a little bit earlier, but right now, Anita.Fix is just going to play us home, and we're going to talk a little bit at the end and tell you what the overnight poll is after Anita.Fix plays. Here is, for the second time tonight, Anita.Fix.
Miracle of the rose, Lady of the flowers, bring the beautiful blooms into the light. We want our loved ones out here in plain sight. 10th day of the 10th month, settling in to the season of sin. Pets are on vacation, second summer's ending, but I see the blossoms breaking. Yeah, the roses are coming again. Oh, I see them opening, and I give thanks to the power that's sending them again and again for being a friend. Oh, I see them opening. Christ will come again someday. It's an assertion, a matter of faith to date. Some are waiting for Christ to come for the first time. They've come already, but we act like they haven't. And the roses are coming today. Oh, I see them opening. A good person dies in prison, near enough to every day. In a nation that speaks of freedom, with a history of enslavement, unjust captivity is a crime. Don't act like it's okay. Don't let another undeserving person stay locked away for even a day. Of the rose, lady of the flowers, bring the beautiful blooms into the light. We want our loved ones out here in plain sight, then we can celebrate and sing. When we fight, we win, and watch the roses opening again and again and again, again and again and again, again and again and again, opening.
The single clap. Amazing. Anita Fix. Fantastic. You do not disappoint. Got a serious question for you. Pick a river. Ohio, Allegheny, or the Mon?
Wow. I like the fourth. That was a good answer.
Okay, go with the fourth. You can write in.
Okay.
Right in the fourth river. All right, stay with us. Dave Mansueto, how are things going on the in-show poll? While he's doing that, Anita Fix, I want to ask you a question.
Go for it.
Your guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that wood from?
That's from China. That's from old growth forest in China.
Unbelievable. Dave has some things to say about the wood from China.
Okay.
If he does. Dave, say it.
I like it a lot.
All right. Well,
Didn't you
love
say
your
it was
guitar.
ancient or something like that?
He was like it's ancient and mysterious.
Close your eyes. Take a breath. Breathe it in. The ancient woods of China. A resonant wood with holes that vibrate symposiously, harmoniously. The best woods from China.
Well, let's talk about some rivers from Pittsburgh. Dave, who won? The Mon took
And
it.
it is done.
41% for the Mon. Allegheny 35 in second place. Ohio, cleaning up the muck from the bottom of the Fourth River.
Running north. There it is. All right, folks. Well, Anita Fix, thank you. If you have free time and you want to, we have one more piece of business to do. If you want to play us out afterwards. If you want to do another song, that'd be cool. If not, we'll have you back on another night with some friends, and you can talk a little bit more and play some more. Whatever you're feeling.
I love playing, so.
Well, stick around. We have to talk for a little bit. You'll play us out into the credits. All right. So here's a little bit of thing here. I think it's time for the overnight poll. Pete, what do you think? Is it time for the overnight poll?
Well, we've got a doozy of a poll for the overnight.
Talk to me, Pete.
Well, we're going through the what do you call it? The pyramid or the bracket that you've created.
Okay, there's a bracket.
And we're like breaking them down. We're going into the second round, right? Isn't that the plan?
Third round. I mean, we're doing this now. We've got the second round of the in-show poll that's going to be coming at us next week. And then the winners of next week are going to go on to the big Jag-off poll, which is already at the Sweet 16 level.
Right. So are we going to go that route, or do we want to talk about, the dinosaur in the room right now?
Well, why don't you just tell us what the overnight poll is going to be, and that might kind of let us know.
Well, you know what? Screw what we're going to do. Dave, sorry, I'm pulling a different card here. We're going to do something different. I think because we all know that there's someone out there messing with our system.
Okay. It might be happening.
We've got a hunch.
We've got a
from a couple dozen votes to like thousands of votes. Some nights.
Okay, look, we went from a couple hundred votes to a few like 8,000 to 10,000 votes.
Right, and
within hours,
calling out people because we think someone might be messing with our system, and we spend a lot of time putting this bracket together, and we take it seriously. But someone's messing in. What would the word? I'm trying to think. What would the words Trump use? There's collusion.
Look. I don't want to use those words because literally this time, they're like much like with Trump, there is collusion,
right.
and it comes out later. But we're going to be proactive here at Alone Together Pittsburgh. We have our own way of flushing something out.
And so tonight, instead of playing the card we were going to play,
got new cards.
New cards, brand new freaking cards, just printed this afternoon. Dave, Patrick, do you want to propose, or do you want me to propose what we're doing? Kind of.
I think we call in the governor, and we find out, or the commandant.
Well, no, before we go to him, I'm going to propose we put the hacker.
Okay. Let's just show the people. Yeah.
Let's play the hacker versus.
Let's
something
see.
Pittsburgh. I don't know. Like it's got to be like.
Do we wait 1 second? You two.
It's got to be something.
There can be no decisions without the magistrate of the Jag-off poll contingencies.
I got to pull my card. It's not my resurrection card, but it's my other card.
Okay, look.
So what are we suggesting here? We're suggesting that we're going after the hacker.
What I want to see is it's not about that. I want to put let's put it up there. Pete, put together a graphic.
Sure. Let me just.
Good work. Okay, you work fast. Okay, the hack Jag. All right, this is a one-time only poll. We are flushing it out. Okay, talk to me.
Who in Pittsburgh could we put the hacker up against? That like, there's no chance. No matter how many votes a hacker
or who it could be,
a bot could create. Like, who could go up against this?
Who is Pittsburgh personified?
Give me Dave, give me 5 seconds. BRB.
Dave, 5 seconds.
Okay, Dave's on this. All right, so we have crack your hams. Okay, so folks. Okay, we think we cannot say with certainty. We've heard things. People are saying that there is someone who's hacking and messing with our numbers. All right? So we're going to find out. There's one way. There's an Alone Together Pittsburgh way. There is the Pittsburgh way of finding out.
Ladies and gentlemen,
He's got the
we are calling out the one that stands in the darkness, dresses all in black, sets all the trash cans on fire, and is trying to put to a blaze what we have created here at Alone Together Pittsburgh. Tonight's Jagoff poll, we are calling you out, hacker. Whether you are Tommy Amoeba, or Amanda from Cards Unlimited, or somebody else, Orion the Amazing, are you a hacker? Well, you've done it. You've called out the big dogs.
Gene
like
Hackenberg.
the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the hacker will go against. That's right, Rick Seaback, ladies and gentlemen. Hacker, do your damnedest. Can you take down the man that Pittsburgh holds in highest regards, the champion of all that is fantastic in the world of Pittsburgh? Hacker man, we're so sick of your crap. We're gonna see. You better put your money where your mouth is, okay? You better put your money in your gosh darn mouth, because now it is the hacker versus Rick Seaback. What you gonna do about that, huh?
It's on, folks. Okay, let's see what the deal is, okay? There's a hacker versus Rick Seaback. There's nobody on our poll.
Bring your worst hacker, nerdman.
Wow. Okay, all right, there it is. Gene Hackberg says, I'm on to you. All right, so there it is. Rick Seaback is in the game. Rick Seaback is in the game. So it's Rick Seaback versus the person who's... The Seaback card has been pulled. It's up to you right now.
And we didn't want to go there. Our hands were forced. You know what I mean?
Go to togetherpgh.com/vote, or just go to togetherpgh.com, click on the vote tab. That's our homepage website. Get to voting right now. We are watching you. Before I bring out Anita Fix is going to play one more song for us to go. I want to remind you guys one thing. We're joking around here, but we're not. We're taking it seriously with the hacker. But this is Alone Together Pittsburgh justice.
We've been compromised.
But I want to tell you something about mask wearing, okay? And it's about what Sally Wiggins says, okay? Sally Wiggin had one thing to say.
Wiggin, you said Wiggins.
When I walk out and there's someone without a mask and they come too close to me, I'm just racked with fear, and then I want to punch them in the face.
Sally Wiggin. I did not say Wiggins. I said Sally Wiggins said. The yes connected. But that is powerful words. That's what I leave you guys with for the weekend. When you go out to the weekend, think about other people. Wear the mask. Don't be a dick when you go into stores, restaurants that you're supposed to wear a mask in. You're supposed to wear a mask everywhere. If somebody asks you to wear a mask, don't start a fight. Put your mask on. Or leave. Or stay home. That's all I have to say. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Don't forget that this thing is happening. And I'm going to give you guys all one last tune from Anita Fix. Take it away.
With the COVID-19 going around and trying to give the governor a little message to let everybody out, and especially the deserving people. Too many. And for Avis Lee, who's coming up for commutation. Locked away in Pennsylvania land, still paying for our mistake from her distant past, doing way too much time for tiptoeing over the line once upon a time. She turned into a saint just to survive. She's a teacher by trade. I know justice is blind, but it doesn't have to be stupid every time. It's time. I see her walking out of prison. I see a door opening. She's working, waiting. It's a moment we've been hoping to see. Now someone on the inside saying, maybe this means something good's gonna happen to me. Now she's on the outside, reaching back, getting sisters free. I see her reuniting families. Regina Favano, I see her walking out of prison. It's like a day breaking. Oh, the long-awaited peace of night waking. The mother of stone they buried her in is giving birth, saying, go on home, you belong to all Mother Earth. Now I see her walking, 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 walking. See her walking out of prison, walking, 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 walking. I see her walking out of prison, walking, 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 walking. I see her walking out of prison. I know one day she'll walk free from this cage of entropy. I see her walking out of prison. See her walking out of prison. See Avis Lee walking out of prison on September 4th. Write to Josh Shapiro, tell the Board of Pardons, set Avis Lee free. Go to www.letsgetfree.info, please. Thanks. Woohoo!
It's that sound. Hello?